Ready? Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone around the world. Welcome to this session again today. It's always nice to have you every Saturday. Special thanks goes to our leaders in the house, starting with Brother Madi, who is live streaming our meeting today so that we can reach the world. The world needs to hear about OnPassive. And also special thanks to Lynn Nakamoto, my co-host, our host. We switch roles. And to our OTech pros in the house team, we welcome you all. We are going to have a great session today. It's about domain registrar. We are going to learn a lot. Don't sweat it. They are going to share the discussions. They're going to explain to the point that we will understand. But all that we need to know is that we are lucky. We are in a company called OnPassive, whereby everything is done for us. We don't have to worry about that. All that we want is to understand our business so that we know how are we growing in our business? Why was this business created? And we are blessed to have our CEO, Ash Mufare, who created this business that anybody is welcome to join. All that we say is get in and everything will be done for you. We have leaders in the house who help us to understand what we need to understand. We don't have to stress about the technicality of the business, how it works, because that's not our part. All that we need to know is the business, the vision, the mission, and that we are a movement committed to do good to humanity. We are more than a business. And at this time, I pass the floor to Lynn Nakamoto to continue from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Marty, could you pass the host to me, please? And I'll make you co-host. Thank you. Welcome, everybody, to OnPassive Kenya. This is a weekly webinar held every Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So we are glad you are here. We want to tell you that today we are blessed to have the OTech pros with us. All four of them are here with us, and we have Tony Monk as well, who will be able to talk about marketing aspects if we have time. Got to make sure we got time. We got just an hour to go. So we would like to begin with, let me, before I say that, let me say one thing. Ash Mufare has requested that we cover certain topics. He has suggested these topics to us. So this is why we are covering these topics over the next few weeks. Just very important for you to know. And we believe he's wise and knows what he wants us to understand, right? So we are going to be covering what he's suggesting. And the first topic we're covering is today's topic, which is domains and the fact that OnPassive is going to be a domain name registry. So we're going to begin today with Oliver Fonte, and he's going to give us an overview of domains. So take it away, Oliver Fonte.
Hey, Kenyan. Hey, Africa. Hey, the world. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever. Tony, how you doing, buddy? And want to thank Madi for being here with us all through the way. Gladys, hi, sister, how you doing? Yeah, we were asked to talk about domain registrar and host of millions and millions of domain names. Domain is without your domain. If you want to be in the online business without a domain, then you are not in business. Domain is, in a layman understanding, is where your website will reside. Is the home of your website. When you look at our link number 51, look how bright, how beautiful that website is. It's going to reside on your domain. You know, the website that will be running when we start selling the products on our website, it will be running on our domain. The targeted traffic will be hitting our domain. And all the products, OnPassive products that we have running on our website, when the selling starts, it will hit the targeted traffic is on our domain. So our domain is, in fact, very, very, very powerful. Without our domain, then there's nothing. You can have the best website, The best website, you have the best website, but if you don't have a domain account, then it's useless. It's useless. So what the CEO has done to us, like giving us a domain and a website. And our domain also, all domain is a product. It's one of our products. This is huge. This is huge. It's our product. And it runs also on DNS, which is the domain name system that is responsible to translate domain names into a specific IP address. It generates the IP address that push you now to the World Wide Web, to the world, to the whole world. So that the whole world, when your website is running all over the world, it's through the DNS system that is going to expose us now to the world through that IP address. So just want to make us to understand that. And our domain, the 1.3 million, we all have a domain. We all have a domain. And the host of is going to host millions and millions of domain names. Another beauty, again, when we talk about the hosting, our domain will be hosting in our data center, the hybrid data center. This is huge. We have control. We have control over everything. The way the CEO, Mr. Ash Mufara, has done it, we will not depend. OnPassive will not depend on any company, anything. We host our domain. We have our own domain account. Customers will come and buy our domain. This is mind-blowing. Honestly, this is mind-blowing. And we are in a very, 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 very better position. When you look at the highest provider for domain today in the world, each of our domain now that we are talking, in the nearby future also, is going to have millions of customers that will be more than that highest provider today that we are talking. I don't want to call names. So you can imagine where we are. When the CEO came out last night, he came again and blew our mind about when he talked about the domain. Because the traffic, they'll be running targeted traffic from the website to your own website, our own website. It will be the traffic, the targeted traffic, customers that will be coming will be hitting our domain. Millions and millions of them will be hitting our domain. And our domain is AI embedded, 100% automated and integration. First, when you hear about artificial intelligence, AI, know that it comes with its own security. I don't want to touch it. Uncle Bob will touch on that. It comes with its own security. And when the CEO told us yesterday that each domain comes with its SSL, that the upgrade for that is TLS. I'll leave that for Uncle Bob to talk on that. But that is huge also, that we have that security, that we are secured. Our website is going to be secured. Our old domain, our domain account will be secured also. Customers will hit us without any fear that maybe my data will be this, my data will be lost, there will be hackers in here. No, we have perfect security for that. I don't want to touch on that. Uncle Bob will touch on that. The advantages, the big one is they'll be running traffic to our domain. The millions and millions of names, domain names will be running on our domains. My brother Vincent will talk on that. So when we look at the whole picture of all domain account, we are sitting, we are, like the CEO told us, that we are going to own the world. We will own the world. We have 5-point-something billion people that access the internet space. They'll be hitting our domain. They'll be beeping our domain. I saw my my brother here, Tony. He talked about BIM. Let me just call the name BIM that they have. They get about 2 billion, Tony, 2 billion traffic. When I read that, when Tony wrote that, I read that, I said, wow. Wow. So our domain is the magic, is our magic. It's our magic. Our domain account, our domain names will be jamming with targeted traffic all the time and compounded. But the most important thing that I want us to understand here today is that then my brothers, we all have our part to play here today, is the home of your website. And that home of our website, each product, we have more than, we don't even know how many products we have because the CEO has not even released how many products we have. I think we have more than 100 uncounted products. We have uncounted products. We don't know the amount. They will be coming with their own traffic that will be hitting our domain also. Compounded every day, every month, every day, every month, every 6 months, every 3 months, every year, it will be compounded. The traffic will be coming, hitting our domain, will be compounded. And guess what is going to happen? Well, he said that last night, and he said, that is why we are going to be on passive air. Let me leave it for there. Let me leave it there. Antiline, thank you.
Very powerful overview. Thank you very much. Now we're going to start with, we'll continue with Vincent Ete, who is going to be speaking about the benefits of domains.
Okay. Well, thank you, Antiline. Thank you for this great webinar. Thank you also, Sister Gladys. Thanks, our big brother Matty, and brother Tony also is around. He's in the house. Thanks, my brother Oliver, for a great webinar. And thanks for also our text pro brothers who are also here for this webinar. So today I'll talk about the advantage of domain names. So we have an hour here, so I'll try to be like 5 minutes, not too much, so that get an opportunity for other people to speak, so that we can respect the length of the webinar today. So the advantage, I'll go straight to the advantages of having a domain name. We have also a domain name had a credibility to your business. So if your business or maybe your company want to have a professional way, this is a good way to have a domain name. So when you have a domain name, you have a professional, look professional. And then the domain name also establish your brand image. So if you have your brand, there is the domain who can try to help you to establish your brand. So if you have your brand like on Passive, the domain name of Passive will help us to build our brand. So this is also one aspect of the advantage of the domain. You also allow us, so people, when they create the domain name, they have to make sure that they don't bring in too much when the name is too long, so people can make some mistake and error. That's not good also for your domain. So do it very short so that you cannot allow for errors or mistake on your brand. So this is also one good thing you need to think about that. Also, we have a free work traffic in. So the domain, I always mention that everything I said, because the domain also help to increase the visibility of your company, and also help for your website ranking with the SEO perspective. Then the SEO perspective is search engine optimization. So this thing, you need also to make sure that is done consistently, so the domain will help you to get that ranking high in top of most of the website as well. So also I will talk about mobility of your domain. So with the mobility of the domain, that means you can host your domain anywhere, and anywhere, even if you are in the UK, you want to move anywhere or anywhere in the world, like, or any continent, is also possible to do that with your domain name. So it helps you to have a mobility as well around the world. And then the domain also reach your target, your target market. So I mean, if you're looking to target maybe 1 million people, this is the domain who can help you to target that 1 million. And then domain also maintain your brand ownership. So your domain will also allow you to maintain your brand leadership. So when you have a memorable domain, that means when all your customer, it will be easy for your customer to get your name quickly and easily. and also the domain build online presence. So if you're online, your presence in our online is the domain will allow you to build your presence. And the domain also allow also again to set your expectation. Okay, so if you want to, you are expecting something higher or maybe more customers, more business, is your domain who can give you this opportunity. And the domain also develop credibility. So when they see your domain and then they see someone go to our website and check, you can find out this domain, they see the importance, and then the name, the brand, all this give us credibility. And then also the domain allow also to grow and expand. So the last thing I would say about the domain also boosts your search engine optimization. So this is in few words, the advantages of the domain. So no talking too much about that. Thank you, Auntie Lynn, and then thank you, my brothers. And I will leave also my brother, Bob.
Thank you very, very much, Vincent. Now we go on to Bob Takusi, who's going to be talking about the security aspects of domains. Thank you.
Yes, Auntie Lynn, good morning again. Good to see everybody, Brother Tony, Marty, Mr. Rob Gorman, good to see you here. And everyone from all over the world, it's good to be here. I'm just also going to go straight to just a little more that we would love to talk about. Oh, Mera Aquino, I see you. Good morning or good afternoon. We would love to talk more, but time constraints, like Vincent said. So we'll just go straight to the security components, the security aspects of this discussion. We know that at the underlying layer of the infrastructure of all unpassive products is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is embedded, it's inside, it's inherent to all our products. And also, artificial intelligence comes with her default security. One powerful thing about artificial intelligence is that it has a detective capability. It detects. So it is also part of our own domain. You know, it's going to be able to detect all threats that are coming to the domain, all fake look-alike domains. There are people who are going to be trying to copy our domain, our websites, everything that we do out there. So AI is going to help us, you know, be able to fish out, identify those threats and then get rid of them. The beauty is that it is going to detect these threats. It can even predict, you know, it's machine learning. Artificial intelligence learns and perfects itself over time such that it will be able to even predict future attacks. That's the beauty about it. And then what happens is we have to have a robust response program in place so that when we detect, we respond, we detect, we respond. So that is what AI, artificial intelligence, does for us in our domain space. The second feature I would like to talk about is the continuous monitoring. Excuse me, guys, I'm under the weather. The continuous monitoring of our domain, continuous monitoring 24/7. We have to constantly monitor our domains, right? Brother Oliver talked about the DNS server or the DNS system. The DNS server is a very critical component of domains. When you go to tonymonk.com, for instance, when you make that request, the computer does not really understand tonymonk.com. It understands numbers. So the DNS server is the guy who translates that request that you've made. It finds tonymonk.com on that DNS server and then points you to that website. So the DNS server is a very critical component in domains. And guess what? It is also a prime target for hackers and bad guys. They want to bring it down. Anybody who wants to harm you, they want to hit that server so much so that it goes down. What do? They do what we call denial of service attack, or DOS attack, or distributed denial of service attack, where they create botnets, they send several requests to that server, overwhelm it, and then brings it down. So what you do, you have to have a good preventive strategy when you detect something like that, to make sure you have a response team to respond and use whatever mitigating strategies you have in place to fix that problem. We know we have that here at OnPassive with our old domain. We also talk about the Ssl certificates, Ssl secured server layer protocols, right? The Ssl certificate is just a digital certificate that helps you to identify where this traffic is coming from, to make sure to authenticate the source of this traffic, where it is coming from, and then enables an encryption connection. So when that happens, when that takes place, then now we can now begin to transmit data back and forth on both sides using another protocol called TLS, which Oliver talked protocol, which is in the same category, the same family, called TLS, so that the transaction is encrypted on both sides. It's totally, when we talk about encryption, we are just saying that you make information, you scramble the information, make it unreadable, so that only the parties that are involved in that transaction can see, can understand. You scramble it and then use some logical key where the only person is the person that is receiving it, or the sender, they both can see. The outside person cannot, even if you hack that system, you'll not be able to see. That is what's happening. So we have that, and the CEO told us yesterday that we have SSL certificates on each domain. That is huge. So the security of our domain is unquestionable. Okay, and then of course, monitoring of the logs. We have to constantly monitor these logs, constantly monitor the logs, like I said before, and have a strategy and a response strategy, like right instantly, where if there's anything, if you recognize any unusual or abnormal, any changes in your threat landscape, you're looking at you have your threat landscape, you're looking at it, you're monitoring this log. If there's any, any unusual events happening, there's an alert, the incident response team, they take action right away. The third thing I'm going to talk about is what we call an automatic takedown capability. I can tell you that we do have that. This is why I say that is because Mr. Ash told us that 3 weeks ago. Remember 3 weeks ago, about 3 weeks or a month ago, he told us in one of our webinars, I don't know if it was a Monday webinar or one of these webinars, he told us that we have the ability, the capability to take down all this YouTube nonsense that people are making videos and writing junk nonsense about us online. He said it, that we can take down those videos and those websites. So when he said that, it just told me right away that, okay, yes, we have automatic takedown is also embedded in our system, in our old domain. Here's what is actually going to happen in real life. OnPassive is going to come. We are the number one best company. We have the products, we have everything. People are going to be flocking to us, customers all over the world, in every area of business. We are also going to be the prime target for hackers and bad guys, right? They're going to try to copy our website. They're going to use our identity. They're going to try to mask it such that fool people to think that they are us, bad guys. So they're going to, for instance, create a website like onpassive.com, but they will use one S instead of two S. One hacker, I predict this is what is going to happen. They're going to create one onpassive.com with one S, and they start soliciting. They will send an email to Tony Monk, for instance, like, oh, your password is this. They start phishing you to send information, and that's how they get to you, and they can also get to us, right? But here's what happened. This automatic takedown gives us that leverage to be able to take down those kinds of bad guys once we catch them. It's also known as typo squat domains. So they create all these fictitious domains, and then they go out there and try to fool people to get access to us that way. So we have that, and I'm very pleased Mr. Ash told us that, so we should not be worried about that. There's enough mitigating systems in place to make sure that is taken care of. And then we have what we also call threat intelligence dashboard. It's also another mechanism in which we collect information. We collect all kinds of information that's out there so that our various teams like our fraud team, our legal team, our security teams, they have this information. It's a dashboard. It's like a dashboard that they collaborate, a collaboration tool that they use, so you see where issues are happening so people don't cross each other. So it's very, very, very good for us, you know. And when Mr. Ash talked on Monday, when he talked about the new tool that we have, a new AI tool specific to, I was thinking immediately when he started talking about that, I was thinking this is what he meant, but he said that it's a custom tool. It has not been done before. It's something that we're bringing into the industry. So that adds to this. So we have this tool that is going to be able to collect these kinds of data out there so that companies can use them and to go after all these bad guys who are actually doing reputational harm to these companies. So that's also another good tool that we'll have in our arsenal to use to stop all these bad actors. And I'm going to end by asking the question that we have at hand tonight. What does this really mean? What does it mean for us to be our own domain registrar and a host of millions of applications of domains? Mr. Ash told us yesterday, location, location, location. We are our own physical digital property, you know. So we have our own domain where millions and millions of people, of other users, millions, like Oliver said, are going to come and you register and for this domain and then bringing us much revenue, you know. And of course, we know that our founder is the master brander, master marketer. What do you think he's going to do with these millions and millions of data, of information? He's a marketer. Much money coming to us. Back to you, Anthony.
Thank you for discussing the security aspects of domains. That was very good. At this time, we would like to have Colin speak, and after Collins, we'll have Tony Monk speak. We're on we have time constraints today because there's another webinar coming up, the in-person event in Gabon, which is in Central Africa. So we want to make sure we end no later than 15 minutes from now. So we're going to have Colin speak for a few minutes and Tony will speak for a few minutes, and then we're going to wrap up. Go ahead, Collins.
Thank you, Auntie Lynn. Yeah, so all my tech brothers, I think they've just taken everything from my mouth. Maybe I can just zip my mouth and sit and relax. Yeah, because they've said it all. So yeah, so just in conclusion, domain is massive. You know, I will not go too much in the technicality of building a domain, but we know domain also go through the development life cycle like any other product. You know, so it's part of our products, and millions upon millions of people will come and use it. So domain always give you the access to the internet space. So without a domain, your website is useless, as Brother Oliver said. Your website is useless. Nobody can see you without a domain. And remember, our CEO said last time that our website will be running. Nobody can stop us. We will be visible in every continent, every planet. You know, when they shut you down, what will happen? Our system will create a new IP address, push your website out there, and you'll still be visible in that country. And most often, I always say the only way they can stop us is for the country to shut down its internet space. And if you shut down your internet space, it means you yourself will not operate in your own country. You know, you cannot shut it down. So OnPassive is massive. In a good way, we will operate in a good way because OnPassive is a clean, legal, and legitimate business. But now we are here to talk about old domain. What does it mean for you to have you as a registrar? So you have a domain register, a home where millions upon millions of domain registered name reside on your own website. So we know we have millions of products. A lot of one of our products is domain. What does it mean for all of the founders, 1.3 million founders, to have that product domain where customers, millions of customers will come to each and every one to come and look for this product domain? What does it mean? It means we are the killer. We are the killer. So it's a non-brainer. There is no way you can compete. Artificial intelligence, all automated, done for you. So we will be the hunted, as Brother Tony always said. You know, they will come. The customer will come. So I'll just leave it there until I will not talk too much about domain because these guys have just said everything. If I want to say it, it means I have to repeat all what they have said. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Collins. That was great. I think you gave us the essence of what this is all about and why we should be excited and actually thrilled. So now we're going to give Tony a few minutes because we're going to wrap up very soon. But Tony, please take the floor.
Thank you so much, Lynn. I'll try to make it as quick as possible. I know there's a webinar coming up. My brothers, Bob, Vincent, Collins, Oliver, you guys inspire the heck out of me. The other day when I was watching the recording, Lynn, of the Friday Night Live, Ash came on, and again, he inspired the heck out of me. One of my favorite subjects, old domain. I love it, just love it. And if people understand what it means, they will be so excited that nobody will be able to sleep. Seriously. A domain name is your presence on the internet. These guys have already pretty much summed it up. Now, the domain name is attached to your websites. Remember, our websites change every single day, right? 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So we're always going to have a new website attached to that domain name. Now, that domain name plus the website is going to be embedded with keywords. Keywords, what I mean by keywords are words that people use to go to search engines to search for certain things. For example, let's say how to make money on the internet or how to make money online. That will be embedded into our website, okay? So when somebody goes to Google or Bing, for example, I'll use Bing because I use Bing all the time, and they click and they put on in the keywords how to make money online, 2.2 billion people are searching for those keywords on a monthly basis. Now think about that for a moment. If Unpassive puts you in front of 2.2 billion people just on one search engine, and we're not talking about Google and the rest of the search engines, okay, it's a game changer, believe me. Ash also brought up something very interesting yesterday on your Friday Night Live show there, Lynn. And what it was is that he was talking about, you remember he said something about solo ads. You know, how people go out and buy a solo ad. He said that we are going to be the hunted, meaning if some huge corporation like Nike, for example, that sells shoes, they will approach one of us, okay? And they will say, can I put my ad in front of your team? For example, you don't need to know your team, okay? You could have 1 million people on your team, and you will say yes. They will put that ad on their team and they will give you either whatever you charge. It could be $1 per click. Now, for example, if you have 1 million people under you and Nike pays you $1 for all those million people to look at their ad, that's $1 million right there. Okay, and that can happen overnight. So yeah, having a domain name is very important. It's huge. It's having your own real estate, digital real estate on the internet. It's like an address. You know, everybody has an address they live at. Well, a domain name is your address. And when people go to that, when they click on that domain name, they will see a new website every single day, eventually 365 days a year. And in that website, under that domain name, we'll have all these keywords for what people are searching for, which could be making money on the internet. And if people are clicking making money on the internet, they're going to have the plug and play system. The resellers are going to have the plug and play system that's going to appear right in front of them, or any of the products that people are looking for. You see what I'm saying? So it's very huge. It's huge. When you have these names or these keywords embedded, it's called SEO, search engine optimization. So when people constantly click on these keywords, it brings you to the top of every search engine. And that's how we're going to become the hunted. And that's where I was talking about, Oliver, when you mentioned earlier, the 2.2 billion people are looking for that particular keyword, how to make money online. And that's only one search engine, and that's Bing. And Google is the biggest search engine on the planet. And YouTube is the second. Bing, I think, is the third or the fourth. Okay, 2.2 billion people for a search engine that happens to be the fourth is huge. Okay, we have almost 5 billion people on the internet today. and all the products and services, whether it's making money online or whether it's using the tools, we're going to have all of that embedded into our website under our domain name. I'll pass it back to you, Lynn. Thank you.
That was fabulous, fabulous, Tony. Thank you very much. I think it shows us what's coming up for each and every one of us. It's so exciting, Tony. It's just mind-boggling. Thank you for sharing the specifics and the numbers. Wow, fabulous. I love it. All right, we're out of time. So what we're going to do is take it back to Gladys Nyaboro, who's going to wrap it up for us. Go ahead, Gladys.
Thank you so much to our OTEC bros. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you, Brother Tony, for always bringing it more home. We appreciate you so much and we love you. We welcome everybody next week again. We always meet every Saturday. So we thank you so much for helping us understand more about how OnPassive is geared towards, you know, going out there and making us the heroes. Only one thing I remember, Uncle Bob, you mentioned, and which is true. OnPassive can do everything to protect us in terms of security measures. But we also, as the founders, the customers, the resellers, we have our part. As you heard Uncle, I think it's, Uncle Bob said again today, you will be receiving, and we have been receiving them, phishing emails. Don't respond to any email if you are not sure where it came from. Any information that comes from OnPassive comes through the back office. That's why we have to have access to our back office. OnPassive does not solicit funds. OnPassive does not ask you for your password. You receive a code to change your own password. So everything verified through the back office. If you are in doubt, we have leaders, we have the OTEC pros, we have the Monday roundtable. We have so many avenues that we can always verify information to make sure we only respond what has come from our CEO himself and from OnPassive. Thank you so much, Lynn, for hosting us today. I give it back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Gladys. So we want to thank you all for being here. We hope that we are presented information of value to you. Remember that this is live stream. Therefore, if you want to catch the recording, it is on YouTube, on over 20 YouTube channels. So easy access for all of you. Come back next week. We'll have another topic that has been suggested by our own CEO, Ashma Farah. Please join us. Thanks again for being here. And at this time, we shall unmute all of you and you can all say bye-bye to each other. See you next Saturday.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye,
Auntie.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
We
all
are all in
participants.
it to win it. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You need to win
Bye.
it.
Bye.
South Africa.
Bye.
Sister Myra,
Bye,
thank you so
everyone.
Bye,
much.
Lynn.
Brother
Bye,
Faraj,
See you
bye,
again
thank
next
you.
everyone.
Bye,
week.
Mama
Oh,
Grace.
Sister Grace,
Have a
thank
nice
you.
day.
Nice to
Have a nice
see
day,
you.
Thank you
Mama
everyone.
very
Grace.
much, Miss
Everybody.
Lynn. Gladys,
We
have a
love
blessed day.
you.
Lynn.
Hey,
Momodu, we love
Momodu.
you.
Momodu.
Adi.
Hello.
Thank you, Sister
Thank
Myra.
you.
We see you. Thank you so much. We appreciate
Bye,
each and every one
Momodu.
of you. Gianna, thank you.